Hello and welcome to the program from the State Assemblies. This is where we review legislative activities across state houses of assembly. On this episode, Benue Assembly gets new speaker. Nasarawa lawmakers raise alarm over rising kidnappings in Lafia. Plus, Ogun State budget process, citizen engagement and legislative oversight in focus. Details of this and more stories will be coming your way shortly. I am your host, Amina Saidu. Thank you for staying with us. In the week under review, the member representing Makurdi North State Constituency, Alfred Mbega, has been sworn in as the new Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly following the resignation of former Speaker Ondona Daju. The Speaker, who presided after taking oath of office, said transparency and teamwork will be his guiding principle and sought their support and cooperation. Assembly correspondent Grace Ichekba reports.
The emergency sitting commenced with the recall of 4 members of the Assembly who were suspended on Friday, 22nd August 2025. Thereafter, the House proceeded with the reading of the resignation letter submitted to the House by the former Speaker and member representing Boko East constituency, Ondona Daju.
I write to resign my position as the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, effective today, 24th August 2025. This is done in good faith and in the best interest of the state.
Members in their contributions commended the leadership qualities of Mr. Ondona Daju, describing him as a team player and humble personality.
We miss him, we miss his time, but the good thing is that we are consoled because he's still with us. He's still with us, he's with us. He will continue to advise us, he will continue to guide us, and continue to be with us.
The House proceeded to the nomination of a new Speaker, and unanimously, Mr. Alfred Mbega, representing Makurdi North constituency, emerged.
That I will devote myself to the service, to the good people of Benue State, good people of Benue State. So help me God. So help me God.
The new Speaker, Mr. Alfred Mbega, assured members of inclusive leadership and fairness in carrying out his constitutional duties.
The House, under my watch, will work harmoniously with the executive and judiciary while maintaining our independence.
The House adjourned sitting to Tuesday, 26th August 2025 for plenary.
Thank you, Grace. The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the Commissioner of Police and other security agencies to beef up security in order to tackle the increasing rate of kidnapping in Lafia and other parts of the state. This is coming under the matter of public importance observed by the member representing Lafia Central, Solomon Yakubu Akwashiki. Adams Abdul Qadir reports that 5 separate bills also passed first reading.
Member representing Lafia Central State Constituency, Solomon Yakubu Akwashiku, rose to move for a motion under the matter of public importance, condemning the high rates of kidnapping within the Lafia metropolis and its environs. He says it is high time security agents tackle the issue of insecurity holistically by fishing out informants, urging the public to oblige security agency with timely information.
These informants are within the household, are within the community. And those kind of people, Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to feed them out, because the kidnapper cannot come to a community and kidnap without a vital information.
These guys, they are the security and move into homes and take people away and collect ransom. Something is wrong. I wouldn't want to call it compromise.
Subsequently, Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Danla Dejate, urged the Commissioner of Police and other sister agencies to be alive to their responsibility, saying the anti-kidnapping law in the state should be strictly adhered to.
This House urged His Excellency the Governor to direct the Commissioner of Police and other security agencies to beef up security in Lafia, Metropolis, and other areas with the same security challenges. Each one of us, including the public, we should report strange faces that are coming to Nasarawa State from all angles to submit their identity to community leaders and the security to avert security problem.
Meanwhile, 5 separate bills also passed first reading. Among them are a bill to rename Shandam Road Lafia after the late former President Muhammadu Buhari, and to rename the combined interchange underpass and flyover after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as well as private member bill sinking 35% women's participation in educational management in Nasarawa State.
Moving on, over the years, Ogun State has engaged citizens in budget processes, preparation, presentation, and implementation in accordance with State Fiscal Responsibilities Law 2020, as amended, and the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, which gives details of the projections of revenue of the state and presented to the House of Assembly for approval. In this special report, Yemi Dalemo examines the budgetary framework functions of the State House of Assembly in the annual fiscal strategy and budget policy of the state.
The Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, set out the state government's strategic fiscal direction over a horizon of 3 years, outlining various policy actions to take the economy on the path of sustainable growth and development in the face of emerging domestic, continental, and global challenges, while focusing on fiscal stability, discipline, transparency, efficiency, and accountability. The budget process outlines the budget cycle within a fiscal year and is structured around the 3 key components of the medium-term expenditure framework, which are the medium-term budget framework and the medium-term sector strategies. This process does start with conception, moving through preparation, execution, control, monitoring, and evaluation before returning to the conception for the budget planning of the following year. The budget process has to go through 4 critical processes, which are drafting, legislative approval, implementation, and monitoring and evaluation.
The medium-term expenditure framework. This physical document outlines how the budget will look like in another 2-3 years.
The budgetary process is very straightforward and then unambiguous. It starts with for us here, it starts with the presentation of the budget by the governor of the state. Don't forget, before the submission of the budget, there had been some interactive session with various stakeholders where inputs are gotten from the, like I said, necessary stakeholder.
The Ogun State Legislature plays a crucial role in fiscal responsibility and resource allocation, including overseeing the executive arm. This they do by scrutinizing government policies, monitoring budget implementation, and conducting investigations to ensure transparency, accountability, and the rule of law.
In collaboration with other standing committee of the House, we put forward a timetable where every MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies are expected to come forward to defend what they have submitted in their various And
thereafter, we will approve the budget for the government to sign, the governor to sign. After assenting his signature, the next thing is to publish.
Thank you for that special report, Yemi. In another development, Niger State government has joined the federal government and other states of the federation to increase the retirement age of academic staff of tertiary institutions to 70 years. This formed part of resolution passed by the State House of Assembly based on a private member bill for a law to amend the Niger State law to provide for retirement age of academic staff of tertiary institution and other matters 2025. Noura Ibrahim has more.
The Niger State House of Assembly has approved an upward review of the retirement age for academic staff of tertiary institutions across the state. The development is sequel to the adoption of all recommendations contained in the report of the House Committee on Education following a private member bill to amend the Niger State law to provide for retirement age of academic staff of tertiary institutions in the state and the subsequent passage of the bill. Under the new law, retirement age for academic staff who meet the necessary conditions have been increased from 65 years to 70 years and 60 to 65 years for non-academic staff of all tertiary institutions. Chairman of the committee, Muhammad Sani Idris Tafa, said the decision aligns with the government's commitment to improving the quality of education, retaining highly experienced personnel, and addressing the shortage of qualified staff in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education.
Now, with this bill that we've come up with, it tends to unify universities and other tertiary institutions in such a way that all academic staff of tertiary institutions, that including universities, will now retire at age 65, and then professors will now retire at age 70. Also, non-academic staff of universities who also play a vital role in ensuring academic activities, their own retirement ages were also jacked up to ages 65.
In the meantime, the House has resolved to invite the Commissioner and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, to appear before the House on Tuesday next week for non-compliance to safety measures on construction site within Minna Metropolis. This is equal to presentation of report of the House Committee on Works and Infrastructure calling for the erection of road signs and provision of road management logistics in Minna Metropolis and Boso local government area to minimize avoidable accidents. Chairman of the committee, Abubakar Suleiman Governor of Boso constituency, who presented the report, said despite calls and engagement with the contractors, it found out that they are not complying with the safety measures and the ministry is not adequately enforcing safety protocols, hence the need for the House to take action. Speaker Abdul Malik Sarkindaji directed the clerk of the House to transmit all the resolutions of the House appropriately for immediate action.
You're watching the program from the State Assemblies, a program that reviews legislative activities in the State Houses of Assembly across the nation. We now take a break. When we return, Kogi Assembly calls for restoration of power supply in some parts of the state, as Lagos Assembly holds public hearing on new tenancy bill to tackle landlord-tenant disputes. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
You're welcome back. We now take you to Kogi State, where the House of Assembly is calling for the immediate restoration of electricity power supply in Ankpa local government area and other councils affected in the state. This followed a motion by the lawmaker representing Ankpa 1 state constituency, Lawal Akos, who at the plenary says the local government has suffered blackouts over the years. Jacob Sani tells us more.
Ankpa is one of the commercial hubs in the eastern senatorial districts of Kogi State. The absence of a national grid in the area over the years has slowed down business activities, healthcare delivery, education, and other areas of development. Prompted by these challenges in the constituency, member representing Ankpa 1 state constituency, Akus Lawal, through a motion at a plenary, appeals to the concerned authorities to ensure that the national grid electricity supply is back in the local government.
Aware that Ankpa was previously connected to a 3 kV transmission line from Utuko in Benue State, which was grossly inadequate due to its position at 27th T-off point after other 5 local governments have been served. The 27th T-off also supplies Ankpa, Omala, and Kolaba area, making it undersupplied and heavily overloaded, and impossible position to deliver stable electric power. This condition led to years of erratic electricity supply that eventually collapsed completely last year.
Supporters of the motion say the motion is a welcome development, solicit that other local government areas affected by this situation in Kogi State should also be considered in the provision of electricity supply.
We move that Area 1 should cover Olamamoro, Africa, and the state of Suez, so that it can be elaborate.
Our youths particularly are trying in creating and assisting themselves with the barbing saloon, hairdressing saloon, tailoring, and welding. And these things I've mentioned, we need electricity so that they can survive better. Let's invite stakeholders, let them come and discuss the issue of life. Why are we paying and we're not getting? Why are there no facilities for us?
Ankpa in Kogi State of Nigeria covers about 1,200 square kilometers, with a population of 267,353 going by the 2006 population census.
Thank you, Jacob. And from Kogi, we take you to Lagos State, where residents continue to grapple with housing deficit across the metropolis. The Lagos House of Assembly is working on a bill to repeal the existing law that will effectively address issues of conflict in landlord-tenant relationship in the state. This necessitated a one-day public hearing on Lagos State Tenancy and Recovery of Premises Bill 2025, organized by the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Cosmopolitan Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria, has continued to attract influx of people from various parts of the country, and the housing sector has not been able to accommodate the growing demands for shelter.
That housing deficit has increased.
This one-day public hearing is therefore organized by the Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Housing to subject the proposed bill to scrutiny with a view to allowing stakeholders make input into the bill.
This bill is to regulate the relationship between the landlord and tenant in the state by providing a framework for tenant agreement, rent payment, property maintenance, and the process of recovering of premises.
Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was represented.
We must acknowledge challenges that many of our citizens face when it comes to securing safe and affordable housing, and we must find solutions to it.
Presentation of an overview of the bill is necessary to intimate stakeholders with the provisions of the tenancy bill.
The bill is divided into 4 parts, which consist of 45 sections.
Prompt resolution of incessant litigation on tenancy issues necessitated the contribution by the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice.
What this bill seeks to do is to prevent using our court system as instruments of oppression. By the time this bill is passed to law and is implemented,
various issues including rent regulation, activities of agents, forceful eviction, and dispute resolution dominated contributions by stakeholders.
Though the law allows any other person to practice as an estate agent, but does not allow any other person to practice as an estate surveyor and valuer. If the rent is going to be monthly, bi-monthly, or yearly, we need to also include the direction of rent review. When will it be? Is it going to be yearly, or is it going to be once in 2 years, or once in 3 years? Because the major issue of dispute is on that.
Commissioner for Housing sheds light on the anticipated impact of the bill.
This bill is intended to make sure that everybody knows its right. The tenant is protected, the landlord is protected. In Section 9 of the bill, Section 8 and 9, we have the duties expected of the landlord and as well as the right of the landlord.
The Lagos State Tenancy and Recovery of Premises Bill 2025 has scaled the second reading on the floor of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Meanwhile, the 5th Children's Parliament in Ogun State has adopted a resolution seeking an end to child abuse, neglect, and exploitation of children across the state. This was while debating a motion titled Putting an End to Child Abuse, Neglect, and Exploitation in Ogun State, brought by Farida Odushola, representing children from Ijebu local government, at plenary held at the Ogun State House of Assembly in Abeokuta. Parliamentary correspondent Yemi Dalemo completes the report.
The passage of the resolution to end child abuse, neglect, and exploitation followed extensive debates by the children representatives through a motion sponsored by Farida Odushola from Ijebu local government, who is also the chairperson House Committee on Women Affairs, calling for the enforcement of the Child Rights Act passed in 2009 to further protect the children from every forms of abuse.
As of 2023, about 60% of Nigerian children are suffering from all forms of abuse. We all have to stand up. We all have to work together to ensure that this is eradicated. Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, my fellow honorable members, child abuse can occur in various forms.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir, my honorable members of this reputable assembly, what must be done to stop child abuse, neglect, and exploitation? Firstly, there must be full domestication of the CRA. We must push for all local government to adopt and enforce the Child Rights Act without delay.
The state government and all concerned stakeholders formulate more policies to put an end to child abuse, neglect, and exploitation in Ogun State. This should serve as the resolution of this honorable house. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Speaker of the Children's Parliament, Favour Ezekiel, representing Ifo constituency, directed that the resolution be forwarded to the appropriate authorities for necessary action.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those against the motion, please say nay. The ayes have it, and so ordered.
The Children's Parliament was later received by members of the Ogun State House of Assembly, led by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, where the resolution passed at the Children's Parliament was formally presented to the Speaker. Elemide commended the brilliance of the Children's Parliament and promised to incorporate the resolution into the relevant laws, especially those dealing with rights of children in the state.
Successful, prosperous, you will lift the glory of Nigeria. There is still hope in Nigeria. Once I see you, I know I see hope for Nigeria. I see hope in this country.
The lawmakers praised the children's commitment, zeal, and ingenuity, noting that the children representatives were determined to excel in their future endeavors.
And finally, beyond the chamber, the essence of State Assembly recess to legislative mandate. When the gavel falls and the legislative chamber goes quiet, many assume the work of legislators pauses. But in truth, a recess is not a break from duty. It is an extension of it. In this special report, parliamentary correspondent Barato Aperiawe takes a closer look at the deeper purpose behind the Bayelsa State Assembly recess and how it strengthens the legislative mandate entrusted to every representative.
The seats may be empty and the microphone silent, but the recess period of the State Assembly is far from idle. Instead, it serves as a vital bridge between the laws being made and the lives they are meant to serve. During recess, lawmakers step away from formal debates to re-engage with the people in rural corners and urban centers. They listen not as politicians but as representatives renewing their commitments to public service.
We take this time to basically interact with our constituents and also know more of the problems. It's also a period for appraisal of how far we have come. There are projects that are going on in our individual constituencies. For instance, in my constituency, that is Senatorial Road, Yanengoa Oporoma Okubi Road. Since that road work awarded, I have been around it. I make sure that there are no disturbances from the communities, and then we go on oversight to see that the road is progressing.
I consider it as a productive concept for you to be more productive.
If for 1 year we've been working and after 1 year we needed to go on break so that we can actually recover ourselves, rest, refresh, and come back stronger and better so that we can actually do the business of the people. Basically, that is it.
According to the House Committee Chairman on Information in the State House of Assembly, Dr. Wisdom Fafi, and Deputy Majority Leader of the House, Bernard Kenebai, the legislative mandate is not just about creating laws, it's about creating laws that work and requires a constant loop of listening, learning, and legislative planning, a process that deepens during recess.
During recess period, it's when we go back to our constituents, take stock. They will take stock.
2 months break, and I intend to use part of it to rest and also use part of it to go back to my constituency and engage people.
The success of any legislative mandate is measured not in words, but in impact, and the impact begins with the quite often unseen work lawmakers do when the spotlight is off.
This is where we call it a day on this week's episode of the program from the State Assemblies. Remember, you can still watch this episode, news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Amina Saidu.